Hey, bosses. We are now on day 6 for our resilience reboot for leaders. If you have not already, I want you to go to shiftsandsuccess.com/freebie12 so that you can download a full list of the tips and routines that I'll be sharing over these 12 days. I'll be doing it at noon. So if you miss it, no worries. You can download the full list, and you can also just stay connected. This is going to be your way to stay connected with any events that we have coming up. I'm going to be hosting some things over the next quarter, and I'll be giving away some things. I got a few good things kind of coming up my sleeve that I'm excited about. So I cannot wait to share with you, especially on my birthday, which is January 23rd. So I want to go ahead and jump into day 6. What we're going to talk about is the power of feedback. I don't know about you, but have you ever experienced in a situation where, let's say, maybe you put off having a conversation with a peer, maybe someone on your team, maybe a spouse, a child, and you put it off for too long, and the situation, whatever it was, it just got worse. And you came back at the end and you said, dang, I wish I would have said something. I wish I would have addressed the situation sooner, right? Or on the reverse of that, maybe you may have offended someone. You didn't even know that you offended someone. And let's say maybe it created a turnover situation. Maybe you lost a team member. Maybe you lost one of your employees because what you realized was that maybe there was something that they avoided bringing to your attention for whatever reason, right? Or maybe there was a mishap in a project because there were certain people who just for whatever reason they avoided having a conversation with you, bringing it to your attention about something, because we're all human, right? We all make mistakes. And so there may have just been something missed in that communication. And if only someone would have said something sooner, the problem could have been solved. This is the power. This is why feedback is so important. And this is why not only just feedback itself, but ongoing continuous feedback is important, because what we find is that the sooner you receive feedback, the sooner you give feedback, it actually helps to minimize stress for both everybody involved, right? It actually helps to minimize stress, and it also helps to avoid ongoing situations that may occur. It helps to avoid breakdown in communication with processes and procedures. And anytime you're trying to move forward in a particular business idea or a business venture, feedback is always essential in that process, right? So giving and receiving feedback offers several benefits, personally and professionally. It typically is going to promote continuous learning. It improves performance, it fosters communication, and it helps in personal development. There was a Gallup study that concluded that incorporating ongoing feedback sessions can actually enhance performance by 20%, right? So this is why it's so important. And I always go back to actually having mindful, like intentional feedback where you're not just asking someone something just to ask, like you're actually asking so that you can actually improve the situation, right? So today, I want you to take some time, and there are 3 different ways that I want you to think of in ways that in which you can actually elicit feedback today. First way is setting aside time. You can do this on a weekly basis. You can put on your calendar weekly or monthly feedback exchanges with your colleagues, your family members, or your friends, right? Wherever you feel like maybe you just have some opportunities to improve in that particular area. I know my husband and I, we are getting in a habit of just having ongoing weekly feedback sessions. We actually got this when we were going through marriage counseling. This was one of the tools that our marriage counselor shared with us, which in my opinion, I feel has benefited us in our marriage. But this is something you can also incorporate with your team members, with your peers, right? Setting that time aside on your calendar for weekly or monthly feedback exchanges. The second way is to ask for instant feedback. And that may mean, let's say after a meeting, after a presentation, if you've had some type of discussion or some type of initiative that you recently rolled out, immediately following up with feedback is key, right? You're asking the participants, whoever were a part of the training, whoever were a part of maybe your meeting that you facilitated, you're asking for immediate feedback, thoughts, and suggestions, anything that you can do to make it better. And then lastly, reflective journaling. This is your way of basically at the end of the day, especially for those of you who like to journal, taking time to just journal about maybe some of the feedback that you receive, maybe some of the interactions, some of the reactions that you experience during that time, or even some improvements that can help you to foster the habit of self-reflection and growth. So whatever feedback has been given to you during that time, you're taking time to actually reflect on that information. So two questions you can ask people, especially just to make it quick, very simple. You can ask them what went well during that conversation, right? Can give me some feedback about what did you think went well during that training, during that presentation. The second thing you can ask them to do is, what can I do to improve? What can I do to make this better next time, right? What are some suggestions that you can offer to help me make this a more meaningful experience for you, right? And so I would say ask those two questions to people as you take your time to elicit feedback. It doesn't have to be all deep. It doesn't have to be anything that has to be extensive. So let me know what you find and what you experience from these powerful feedback conversations. And I will see you guys tomorrow for day 7.